Hello, once again, Star Wars Unboxing fans. Welcome to a large edition of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and I'm here to talk to you about claim sales. That's right, a claim sale. Now, I've had these on the episode before, but you know what? This is a little bit weird, so let me do a little bit of finagling here. Hang on one second. I'm going to move some stuff around here. Those are my... Put them there. And I'm going to slide this way and just kind of lean in like this. There we go. That's a little better. All right. So what is a claim sale? So I've talked about this on the channel in the past. Claim sales are essentially on Facebook. There are lots of groups, selling groups. Frankly, I've only looked at Star Wars ones, so I would assume that you could find them in other fandoms, other collectible organizations. But I've only seen them for Star Wars. And the idea of it is that a person will actually take photos of a whole bunch of items and include the dates and everything, so that you know that it's modern, or meaning that it's happening right at that moment and not something from an old post. And then they simply list. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll list everything in one shot. They'll take all pictures of everything, put it all in one post, and then kind of in the description say they want to sell 20 figures. Action figures, and they'll actually say, okay, Luke Skywalker, farm boy, asking $10. Luke Skywalker, X-Wing pilot, asking $15, and they go down the list, right? Sometimes they have accessories, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just do this with accessories, like, you know, the Imperial Blaster, blue, $15. Imperial Blaster, black, $25, like that kind of thing. But sometimes they do it more, I'm not going to say live, but it's like, they kind of put a post out and they say, we're going to be doing a claim sale on this day from here to here, say from Friday, September 5th through Sunday, September 7th. And they put a time frame. And then starting on that time, they'll put this out a few days ahead. And then they'll start in the comments, they'll start putting photos. They maybe take a huge photo of everything they're going to be putting out there. And then they'll put, you know, one photo at a time. And right before the photo, they'll say, whatever the photo is, like say, vintage Obi-Wan Kenobi loose figure complete, $30. And then they go to the next one, and they go to the next one, and they keep listing photos. And then you, as a potential buyer, I mean, if you stumble across this, or if you follow these Facebook groups, like this one I'm particularly thinking of is called the Imperial Commissary. And if you follow it, these things come up on your feed, and you can kind of go in and say, oh, cool. It could be happening live, meaning you could be sitting there waiting, and then one will pop up right then and there, and you can say, oh, if you're the first to see it, you could be the first one among the first to see it. You could be among the first to claim it. And you simply type in in the comment below that picture, claim. And then you can keep doing this. And then once the whole thing is done, the seller will reach out to you. They'll kind of tally up, they'll look at the feed, they'll tally up all the things you particularly claimed, add it up, figure out shipping. You send them a PayPal payment, and then they mail it out to you. It's pretty cool. But I stumbled across what is effectively the perfect storm. But I'll get to that in a minute. You see, if they can, this usually takes 2 or 3 days. So you may not catch it right away. You may, let's say they posted everything on Friday, and you check it out on Sunday afternoon. Well, you're going to look through what could be as many as 100 photos of different things. Now, you might also see, oh, look, there's Obi-Wan, loose, complete, $30. But you'll also see in the comments somebody wrote claim. So like, oh, somebody already claimed it. Okay. So it's like somebody yelling, dibs. I called dibs. And that's basically what it is. Well, then you can, so I've come across that quite a few times. And I would actually just go through, and I would actually just go through the things of anything that I wanted that somebody else didn't claim, and I would hit claim. And then they would just let me know. Well, here's the perfect storm. The perfect storm that I came across. Now, those who know me, know my channel, know that I'm into collecting. I like the vintage collection, but that is not something I usually find on resale. I usually try to find that pre-ordering through Hasbro, through Entertainment Earth, through Amazon, Walmart.com, Target.com. Sometimes seeing it in the wild when I'm out in the stores. That's pretty much all I do when it comes to collecting the vintage collection. Same thing with Disney. On occasion, I'll when I'm in the parks, if I see something I want, I pick it up, I have it. Maybe I'll order it on Disney.com, Disneystore.com. but that's pretty much it for that. But then you have like the vintage, the original vintage, which I'm talking about the 70s and 80s. I have been collecting that since I was 5, and I have a lot of it in my collection, loose, but I've been looking to fill in the gaps, maybe with boxes, maybe instructions from play sets and toys that I threw out when I was young. Some carded figures, not that I'm looking to finish a collection of it, just maybe, occasionally if I find a carded, even a slightly damaged carded figure from the 70s and 80s for a decent price, I might pick it up. That's more investment than anything, but I do like to have a sample of that. But I also like other outside of the box vintage, meaning it doesn't have to be toys, it doesn't have to be Kenner. It could be party supplies, it could be school supplies, it could be lunch boxes, it could be anything of that nature. So I'm looking for a lot of different stuff. And I came across the perfect storm. I was scrolling through my feed. Now, little heads up, guys. You control your feed. I don't like putting a lot of negativity on my feed. I don't like reading about negativity. I don't like posting negativity. I don't really like to have other people's negativity on my feed. So I do a lot of positivity. And that's just who I am. You do you. It's okay. I'm just try to be a more positive person, and I try to fill my days when I'm scrolling with positive things. There's so much doom and gloom in this world. I try to fill it up with more, beauty and awesomeness if I can. Well, in going through my scroll, boom, I find a post that just got listed, and it was from a seller, and he said, "I'm starting a claim sale," and he had a big picture, and I was like, "Huh." I looked at everything, and it was all stuff that I wanted. It was all interesting things. I thought, "Oh, that'd be kind of cool." So you can tag it. You write the word tag in the comments if they're announcing it's coming up, and then they usually will take all the people that are tagged, and they'll write all your names in, so that you get tagged and it comes up on your feed. And I knew that it was going to be like this day at this time, and I happened to be in a position where I had my phone up, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I can check it out." So I was in a claim sale live. That is the perfect storm. And why is it the perfect storm? Well, I'll tell you why it's the perfect storm. Because everything that came up, not everything, but a huge number of things that came up, I'm like, "Ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that. Ooh, I'd like that." And the prices were decent. They were all very reasonable. Claim, claim, claim. The only problem is that after a long stretch of time, you end up with a box this big. And another bag beyond that. I do believe that this is both. I think this is a different one. So this is a smaller claim sale, which I'll do this one first. So this one was just somebody doing a claim sale for some books. Okay. So I liked all the books, and he had them all kind of laid out, and one person claimed a few of them, and I said, "You know what? I want to get some of them." Now, fair point. These are generally going to be resale items, okay, because it was a very reasonable price. I'm going to put them out in the yard sale. But these are some 1970s children's books. We've got the Maverick Moon. All right, this is a Star Wars illustrated book. I love the illustrations. I love this time period of Star Wars because it was new, it was fresh, there was a cool style to it. All right, and it was just really neat. And this is like your first kind of expanded universe thing, so that was really cool. So that was this one. There was also the Mystery of the Rebellious Robot. Again, another little book. Cool illustrations. Just early on, I think, I don't know if this was 1979. It makes sense because it looks like the artwork in this. I want to pull up one picture here. The artwork is not exact, but it's similar in vibe to Nirvana, the special, the holiday special, and what later the company that produced the Droids and Ewoks cartoon. So I don't think they did it. I just think that was the only animation that they had at the time. So the illustrators kind of went with that as a kind of a jumping off point. And then we have R2-D2's activity book. This is just pure nostalgic gold. It's like little arts and crafts projects, some crossword puzzles. I absolutely adore this. I might actually keep this one in my collection. I have one, but I used it, because I love this thing. I was having all sorts of fun with it. But there are some things you can cut out. There's things you can do. So, if you use it, it becomes unusable. You can't really resell it except for the nostalgic factor. So I might want to keep an untouched one in my collection. And then the last one, I think I also already have this. It's the Return of the Jedi Official Collector's Edition. It's just a general, look at the cool Ralph McQuarrie art in the back. And it's just this really cool kind of, I think it's a combination of articles and stuff. I don't remember if this came directly from Lucasfilm or if it was like a Starlog produced thing. I have to look it up. But ooh, it's a Shorebrook essay from Switzerland, but it is in English. So I remember having this one, but you just leafed through it. Again, no internet, folks. This was our internet. Right here, kids. This was our internet. So that was really cool. It was very simple. It wasn't too expensive. I got a little sticker out of the deal too, a little first order sticker. I love that when sellers throw a little extra in, even something as simple as a sticker is cool. So that's great. Now let's get back to this one. Yeah, this is what happens when you are at a claim sale live, meaning it's happening as you see, and you're the first one to see it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there could be a lot of other people watching, but this isn't like an eBay auction all over the world where there could be literally millions of people or hundreds of people or thousands of people. It's maybe a dozen people looking at it at that moment, in that moment in time. So, and because I'm going after a lot of the non Star Wars Kenner stuff right now. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that nobody wants, and it's very cheap, but it adds up. So I ended up spending quite a bit on this. So again, this is a mix of stuff I want to maybe flip in the next sale, or stuff that I want to keep in my collection. So let's see what we got. Very well packed. It's funny, these Walmart boxes are very flimsy. I was going to maybe reuse this box, but I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, so we got some pieces of cardboard here. Very good packing. These are just used for protection. Awesome. So drop these over here. All right. I guess just used for packing, interestingly enough. Okay. All right, so out of the gate, we're going to start with something that is actually Kenner, and that is this was a complete, or at least partially complete, micro collection control room. Okay, I don't remember if I have this box or not, so I'm gonna go through this and check it to make sure that I have everything in here, and if I do, I can create a second set to put out for the sale. So that is cool. Oh, here's another micro one. Wampa Ice Cave. Again, I believe this is complete, if not mostly complete. But again, I don't know if I have the box. So if I don't have the box stays in the collection. But I'll put the set out, and I already have another set to go out. So this is going to be at least 2 sets going out. And that is cool. We have now. This is something I love. These are a series of tins. I think they came out. I forget who was the company. I think it was called Chuco, which is a funny name, Chuco. But it was this really cool art. If you can see it there, right? They had this standard art for a lot of different things, and it was unique because the company created the art. I don't think it was stock art that came from Lucasfilm. So it's just a cool thing. There's some cool explanations. I have a couple of smaller tins, but these are bigger. Here's another one. This one's kind of it almost has a lunch pail feel to it. Okay, there you go. Right, but it's got the two. Let me show you the picture. Right, there's that, and then we have our little. Like I said, it's like a little pail. So there was a whole bunch of things. I've picked up a few of these pieces over the here and there. They're not too expensive, but they're not cheap either. They're kind of in the middle. This one was I'm real excited about this one. This is the Yoda, the Jedi Master. It's actually a magic 8-ball. Okay, I don't know how good it still is, but it has kind of the water in the back. Sadly, these things, they were never meant to be collected forever. I already own one. I really bought it for the box. All right, so I can put mine on display. I'll take the better of the two and put it on display in the box, and the other one will go out in the sale. It was actually, sorry, you're not seeing my face, but you don't want to see my face anyway. This was actually kind of something that it's a static little statue, but it's got the, you can shake it like the Magic 8 Ball. It'd say things. I can't even barely read it, partially because of my eyesight, but also this water when you first got it, it was clear. Now it's kind of black, so it's kind of, and then you argue, do you take it out and redo it? It's also evaporated a little bit, so who knows? But nonetheless, when they were coming out with the 70s and 80s 12-inch figures, a lot of people would display this Yoda with that. So I'll put the box with that and put the better of the two Yodas in the collection. Oh my God, we have another micro. I know I don't have all of these, so I'm gonna have to rearrange and find some room for all of these. This is the Bespin gantry. Okay, so that's cool. I'll cross-check these with the extra figures I have. All right, now we are moving right along. A couple of puzzles. Ooh, brand new in the box. Brand new Return of the Jedi puzzle. These were very reasonably priced. Possibly to go in the collection, possibly to go out in the sale. Let me put it this way. Everything that goes into the collection will eventually go out into the sale. This may not be right away. It might be a few years before that happens. Speaking of puzzles, we got, cool. Got a couple of things here. Another puzzle. Oh, it's newly, sealed. Completely sealed. X-Wing. Again, I love the Star Wars. It's kind of like a black, almost slightly blue. Okay. And the reason I love this is because when it's sealed that it's complete. I can't tell you puzzles that I bought that were missing one piece. Ugh, torture. Okay, in addition to that, we got a few. Let's talk about a couple other puzzles. These are children's puzzles. Here's your Gamorrean guard, right? Just like quickly, like a 12-piece jigsaw puzzle. Got Wicket and Leia. This is Craftmaster. For my school supplies, this is total nostalgia kick. I had these as my seventh grade year. Trying to get the non-glare here. But again, really cool art. 1983, unused, probably just for the sale. These two, obviously, loving the Max Rebo band. Speaking of Max Rebo, I picked up an extra organ. Sorry if Star Wars Daddy's watching. I would have picked up that organ you were putting out there. I would have, but I had already just ordered one, and now I'm just waiting on a Max Rebo to come in the mail. I wanted to have an extra Max Rebo, just Max Rebo, because I want to put Max in the cantina. I'm going to actually add him and just him. I don't need Cy Snoodles or Doobie McCool. Just Max Rebo. I want to put him in the cantina, so I wanted an extra one. We had a guy come to my sale looking for model kits. I'm actually going to be selling off all of my actual done models, like a buck a pop, for anybody who wants to maybe redo them. But I also picked up this one. I thought, these are all very reasonably priced, but this is definitely going to be going in the sale. Speeder bike, unopened. You can see why this box was so big. This one, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked that this one did not get more claims. This is being just luck. Presto Magic. These things, Presto Magic Transfer. This is for those kids who don't know what this is. These are essentially this thing where you would take a scene, a two-dimensional scene, and you could put little transfer that you would rub on the scene so you could actually make it look like part of the scene. Okay, it was a whole bunch of things. They had little paper ones, like little like ones that you could get kind of like point of purchase sales. They were pretty inexpensive, like maybe $1 or 50 cents each. Then you can get this greater kind of master one that was like great. I had it as a kid. I loved it. And I could not believe that I was able to score this. Again, stays in the collection for now. I know some people are probably watching like, oh man, I wish you wouldn't keep everything. I'm not keeping everything, guys. Believe me, I'm not. you know, a lot of things here. All right, what else we got? All right, it's got some good stuff wrapped up here. Let me, I guess it's good that you're not really seeing my face, my ugly mug. Oh, yeah. I claimed this. This was a totally for the sale. It's a beater up Obi-Wan. No, 12-inch Obi-Wan. Or sorry, Obi-Wan. Yeah, I can talk today. 12-inch Boba Fett. Okay, no extra pieces. All right, I think it was $12. Okay, really just for parts, but I might give it a good wash and put it out in the sale just as is. I just think it's such a cool figure, even without any of its accoutrements. Okay, what else we got here? Just want to see. Some things are wrapped up here. Cut them up. I love doing this. This is cool. All right. I'll save this one. I'll save this one for last. And in the box, I'll open this back up in a second. But in the box was a little box. We'll put that box in a little box and mail that box to myself. When that box arrives, I will smash it with a hammer. Very underappreciated movie, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. Okay, we got okay. For purely nostalgic case, the story of Star Wars on 8-track tape. Yes, kids, 8-track. If this doesn't scream 1970s, early 80s, I don't know what does. I have no 8-track cassette player. I have no means of playing this, but that doesn't matter. You can actually find this story on YouTube. I mean, you can go to YouTube to the story of Star Wars, and it comes up. So you don't even need the record. You don't even need the tape. You don't even need the 8-track tape. But the 8-track tape, it's awesome. I only want one other thing to go with this. If I can find the Star Wars soundtrack on 8-track tape, that would be, I'm going to put those two together as part of my display. So that's cool. Now we also have some parts and pieces. We have a grappling hook and a strut for the Falcon, because I need a second strut, and the grappling hook will go to a Luke that's going to go out for the sale. We've got a couple of loosey-goosey figures here. All right, we got 8D8. We have a Jawa. Here's 8D8. We have a Jawa with the robe. We've got a Snowtrooper with the skirt. We've got, then he comes with his weapon. We've got a Death Squad commander. We've got a Princess Leia, no weapon, but yes, cape. A little bit of slight damage on it, but pretty good. And then we have, oh, no, forget it. I lied. We have the thing. Oh, I'm going to do the thing. Hold on. Yep, definitely original. We have the weapon, so that's really cool. And then we have a Hoth trooper. All right, so all reasonably priced. Now, everything that's reasonably priced here is great, but we know it does add up. So, all right, and then second to last item here. I'm glad he included this on a card. Just a Return of the Jedi Weequay figure. I believe I already have one, but it's a pretty decent version of this figure. So either it or one of the other ones that I have will find its way into the into the sale. All right, and then last but not least, something else I have. This is one of the last collector cases that they ever came out with. This is the laser rifle carry case. I should say the last collector case they came out with before Power of the Force. Decent condition, but I really got it because I loved it in the box, or I should say the display piece here. So that is awesome. So there is a huge amount of stuff here. And I mentioned, I was saying, well, I like to collect non-Kenner stuff, but I'm looking at all this and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 things out of like 15, 16, 17 things that are part of the Kenner collection. So not necessarily, the standard toy, except for one carded figure and a bunch of loose figures. So all told, I'm not going to tell you how much I spent. I never say that. But again, it's all mixed up. It all it comes out in the wash, as they say. Okay, because some of these things are going to just be in the collection for a while, and either I or my kin will sell it off when I die, or maybe I'll sell it off later, or I'll be selling it off very soon. Okay, I have a toy show coming up that I'm going to take part in, and I'm going to definitely want to pick a few items, new and old, to put out there. So, but this is really, really cool. I remember a fun little tidbit about this thing. It's a collector case, but it had this laser rifle look to it, and I don't even think it might have been I don't even remember if this was a Star Wars thing first, or if it was something else and then they made it into a Star Wars thing like they did sometimes, or if it started off as a Star Wars thing and they made it into something else later. But I remember when the miniseries came out, I used to run around with this pretending I was like Mike Donovan with my V blaster. So that was always fun. Whew! All right. So yeah, a lot of great stuff. Some things right for the collection, some things right into the sale. But pretty good. So claim sales. One thing I will say, it can be very easy. It's like I've learned that there are certain things you can get caught up in the moment, right? Live auctions. Live auctions can be very, very challenging because let's say you really want something, right? And, logic suggests that I really want this item. I'm willing to pay up to $80 for this item. And then you put that item in there on an auction and then somebody outbids you. Then you should walk away, right? But if it's live, or if you're sitting there watching it, or if you're in a space and there's somebody shouting out the numbers, you tend to be like, oh, I really want it, I really want it, I really want it. And they're enticing me with the going once, going twice. And you're like, I'll take 90. And then, oh, I'll bid 100. And next thing you know, something you were going to tap out at 80, you're now bidding 100, 110, 120, 130. So again, by itself, that might be okay. But what if you're doing that with 10 different items? Then you've spent $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 more than you should have. So you got to be very careful with that. Claim sales, it's kind of like that, only with claim sales, it's like the FOMO, fear of missing out. You see the items come up, someone's going to claim them. So you're like, well, I'm going to claim. I want it. And then, because it's not like an auction. Once you hit claim, that's it. They do have kind of like auctions and set up in the same way where they'll put a thing out there and they'll say deal or no deal. And basically you put out a number and they say no deal. Like this. So let's say this will do something like they'll put out a carded Empire Strikes Back Stormtrooper. Now, if it's in decent condition, one of those could go for $200 or even $300, right? Card mint on card Stormtrooper, or even more than that, really, if it's graded or whatever. But someone will pay $50, and then they'll say no deal, and someone will say $100 and say no deal. So you just kind of scroll through and you see what people are offering, and they say deal or no deal. And if they haven't said deal yet, then you can ask for the number higher than that, and the number higher than that. So it's a fun way to kind of engage with other collectors, but but you got to be careful because these, I did spend probably a little bit more money than I should have, but again, some of it's going into the sale. I know at least the one these that. So I would say over half of it's going into the sale. Okay, but again, keep in mind that right now I'm only talking about my yard sale, maybe my toy show that I'm doing, but I don't do sales every week. So, I have to kind of be careful with how much money is going in. So anyway, but overall, it's a lot of fun, a little excitement. And I do have the income to do this, so it's okay. I'm not like destitute, but it's a lot of fun. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky, all the other videos that I have out. It has been a buying frenzy thanks to the success of my sale in June, and I've been finding all sorts of things like claim sales and auctions. And if you're interested into that, much more to come. I don't even know, this video is being recorded in early September, but it probably won't go out until October. Lots of things. We got the holidays coming up. Question out there for you: anybody going to buy that Chewy? Anybody going to buy the $350 Home Depot animated Chewy? I am not. I've decided against it. However, now I'm eyeing the Stormtrooper from last year. I'm like, But then I'm thinking, well, if I wait until the holidays are over, maybe I can snag a half-price one. Or maybe I can snag a half-price Chewy or whatever. So I'm going to see. I'm not buying anything now. I'm going to wait for the sales if they happen. But what are you doing? Leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.